Hello, everyone. My name is Maurice West. I'm the State Central Committeeman for the 17th Congressional District and the State Representative of the 67th District.
And hi, everyone. My name is Carter Elliott. I am the organizing director for the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee here in Illinois' 17th Congressional District. We wanted to have this town hall so voters could learn more about the candidates who are running to represent this district.
And we're really excited to have Marsha Williams with us on today. And so, what we're going to do, Carter, if you're okay with it, you put you in the backstage and then bring Marsha up real quick. Hi, Marsha. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Mhm.
So this town hall is all about you, and we're really eager to hear what you have to say. So we gave you the breakdown of how it's going to work. You have 10 minutes for opening statement, 3 minutes to answer 5 questions that were given to you, and 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I'm sorry, for a closing statement. So we'll go ahead and start with your opening statement. Carter will be keeping time in the backstage, and will notify us through the banner when we get to the time of 1 minute left, 30 seconds left, and then when it's time to stop. So really excited to hear from you. Let's go ahead and get started with your opening statement.
Great. Well, first, thank you for hosting this for the candidates, and so people can be able to get to know the candidates more, and so they can make a decision in which candidate is best suited for them, and hopefully that's me. I am a proud Democrat running in Congress in Illinois District 17. I am a daughter of a union members. Both my parents were union members, and I learned at a young age the importance of the American labor movement for the working people. My mother was a CNA, and my dad was a maintenance man, which was a glorified name for a janitor. And because of the union, we were able to live comfortably and have everything that we need: food on the table, have the lights on in the house, and live in a modest-sized home. And that's why in Congress I will always fight for the working people. For many years, I was a single mom, and I learned the importance of a social safety net. And that's why in Congress I will always fight for the fellow citizens who need a hand up. I've always been a community activist, and I've learned that real change begins at grassroots. And that's why I'm in Congress. I will never forget those marginalized by our society. I'll make sure that everybody has a seat at the table. I'm a candidate in this race that just supports universal health care, because it's time for this nation to codify in law that health care is a human right for all of us, not for the privileged, for those who can afford it. I am the candidate that supports the Green New Deal. I wanted to be able to bring the New Deal for farmers so we can be able to bring green energy from the large towns all down to the rural small towns. I am a candidate that refuses corporate PAC money. I feel that expecting corporate PAC money is like taking a deal with the mafia, where you have to owe them a favor, and the only favor that I want to owe is the people that have elected me in office. I am proud to earn the endorsements for many progressive organizations like the Free Thought Equality Fund, Brand New Congress, March On. But no mistake, I am working every day to earn the vote of every Democrat in this district. And if elected, I will do town halls like this very often, because I want to be able to learn the issues that everybody faces every single day. So then I can be able to go to Washington and actually make a difference, not only for the people in the district, but for the people in our country as well. Um, my top three priorities would be passing universal health care. I feel that we are well overdue for that. Um, the Care Act was a good starting point, but we already pay into this universal health care for Medicare. Might as well get our money's worth. And because of this will be able to save so much high costs of medication, for medical care, and then actually bring more like physicians and immediate cares to rural areas. I support the New Deal, which is the Green New Deal, so we can be able to provide more green energy jobs to get ourselves off of dependent on fossil fuels. Um, our our climate is in crisis, and we need to address it now, not in 10 years, not from now, not from 20 years from now, like today. And I also support s- programs that be able to help pay for free trade schools and for free college. At some point in time in our country, we actually provided free college and trades, and our country was thriving. And we can get back to that by making sure that the rich are paying their fair share in taxes. So then the bottom percentage can be able to actually live a good chance, in life. I was a single mom for many years. I had a college education. I have huge amounts of student loan debt myself, and I know that what the burden is for those individuals who were working paycheck to paycheck, and I know how that feels, and I actually kind of still feel like that, and I want to be able to make sure that people can be able to live a good life, have money for their retirement, so when their golden years, they don't have to worry about to buy medication or buy groceries. So, okay.
So let's go ahead and move on to our questions. Our first question for you, Marsha, is simple. What makes you the best candidate to keep this seat blue? You have 3 minutes.
With women candidates, we actually we're a little different than male candidates. We actually do a lot less talking and a lot more listening. I grew up in a very red area where I grew up around Republicans, and I actually have to co-mingle with them every single day. And what we need to do in Congress is we need to start taking the Republican versus the Democrats. We need to take our party partisan aside and actually figure out what the issues are and work together so we can be able to find solutions to the problems to our countries that our countries make. Um, we can do this by just doing negotiating, listening to what the other side, how they feel about it, and then be able to together come for finding a solution. Um, with the wake of what January 6th happened, it was a very low point in our country, and that's one of the reasons why I'm running for Congress, because the partisan politics isn't working anymore, and it's not working for the people in this country, and especially in this district.
All right, thank you for that. Moving on to our second question. What would be your first 100 days? What would your first 100 days in Congress look like?
Oh, I have a lot of ideas. I'm going to be really busy for the first 100 days in Congress. um, First is what I wanted to do is make sure that we have low prescription prices. My dad was diabetic, and he had to ration his insulin because he wasn't able to afford it. And the or the little AccuCheck machine to check his blood, the little pricker things and the testing strips, he couldn't even afford to even purchase those. So that is to be able to lower the cost of prescription prices. My son is allergic to peanuts. We got him EpiPen, and it was like $800 for something that costs, a couple bucks to produce. And they're using profits. These big pharma companies are profiting off of the sick, and we need to make sure that the prescription prices are affordable for the everyday American. That's the first thing. The second thing is I want to bring a statewide, it's Illinois state program called the Workforce Equity Initiative program. I want to bring that to a federal level so then we can be able to get more people trained in trades. Because if we want to invest in green energy and like solar panels and solar cars, we need folks to be able to be trained in how to install them, how to build them, and how to maintain them. And we can be able to do that with a workforce equity initiative. And see, my last thing it would be to expand real rural broadband internet and be able to have more funding where we can get cell service to these rural areas as well. Because of driving through the southern part all the way up to the northern part of the district, I noticed there's a lot of miles and miles where there wasn't any cell service at all. And we make sure that those people are not being disadvantaged and they can actually have access to self service. So that's my top three priorities for my first 100 days in office.
Good deal. Thank you so much. Let's move on to the third question. It's quite long, but thankfully it'll be on the screen. People are concerned about the economy, for example, inflation, gas prices, and the possibility of a recession, along with supply chain issues. What are your main ideas to improve the economic health of our district?
Oh, that's a lot of questions. I actually was driving today and I saw that gas was starting to get around 4.60 a gallon. And there are certain parts in Illinois where it's over $5 a gallon, and not the everyday person can be able to afford that. They need this gas to be able to go to work so they can be able to provide for their families. I firmly believe that the reason why our gas prices are going up is because big oil corporations are price gouging everyday American citizens. In the first quarter, they have shown record profits, and by the end of 2021, they're going to double their net profits versus the previous year. And they're doing this in the back of the everyday American. So, first thing I want to do is be able to hold these large corporations accountable for price gouging for American people. And the big issue is that they're using with what happened with the pandemic a way to excuse why we have a supply chain issue and why there's not food or other products on on the shelves. Um, I work at a trucking school, and so I'm involved in the trucking industry, and I know for certain that there is many trucks that are sitting at these ports waiting for them to unload these trailers, the trailer things, so they can be able to move them. And we need to make sure that there's enough tools, enough people to actually move those containers off the ports onto the trucks, onto the trains, and get them onto to the shelves so people can purchase them. But mainly is to hold these large corporations accountable. They're raising these prices and they're using excuses like what's going on in Ukraine or the pandemic to be able to make more profit.
Thank you so much for that. Moving on to our fourth question. How would Congresswoman Sherry Bustos' work in office inform your own work? And how would you continue her legacy?
Well, she's done some amazing things in Congress, especially ending the forced arbitration for sexual assault victims, which was a very recent legislation that she passed and thankfully got into the president's hands to be able to sign into law. I want to be able to do the Moving Forward Act. That one is, from what I mentioned earlier, to be able to expand rural broadband or broadband access to rural areas and to be able to improve the rural broadband in areas that it's already exists so people can be able to have access. We learned with the pandemic that, you know, with kids having to attend school remotely and people having to work remotely, I live in a rural area, so I was affected by that when I had to work remotely where internet was going out or it was very, very slow, and that takes production and that definitely decreases it. So we main thing is to get rural broadband to all areas of the district. And then I want to be able to kind of take a little bit from what her work is and be able to have a new deal for farmers. What I've noticed in a district is that we have some rural areas have outdated pipes that are coated in lead, and that's not healthy. And we make sure that we can be able to offer funding to be able to replace those old pipes. And you know, Sherry's done really some amazing work in the district. What I like about her thing and something I want to continue is her supermarket Saturdays, where she walks down the aisles in the supermarkets and talks about issues with the constituents and seeing what we can do and what their ideas how to improve those issues that they do face. And I like Sherry Swift, where she was working with, the everyday working people. I've always been a hard worker myself, a workhorse, if you will. So I want to be able to work alongside the hardworking people in the district, so I can see what they go through every single day.
Good deal. Thank you so much. Our final question for you. Name one accomplishment of yours that you are proud of that is currently benefiting our community.
I worked with this organization called Chiditarod, where we run it's a fundraiser that we have. We actually have several fundraisers throughout the year, but one big one that is basically a a race that people do with shopping carts, and they donate food and have monetary donations. And this helps the Northern Illinois Food Bank. This last year, our biggest fundraiser is we helped raise over $100,000 for the Northern Illinois Food Depository, and over 60,000 pounds of food to help the individuals. So I believe that the Northern Illinois does cover parts of the northern part of the district. And I'm proud to be or be one of those organizers for that organization to be able to help people in need.
Good deal. Thank you so much. Well, that concludes our questions. We'll now move forward to closing statement for it from you. You have 5 minutes on whatever else you want to share with the voters.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time for listening to me today regarding the ideas that I have for this campaign. I'm Marsha Williams. I was a single mom for many years, for about over over 10 years, and I had to work two jobs to make ends meet. I was living paycheck to paycheck. Sometimes having my daughter eat a meal and me eating her scraps because I didn't have enough to make for myself. I know how it feels to um, not have hope in the system and not feeling like I'm being heard. And when I decided to run for Congress, I wanted to make sure that everybody has the equal opportunity to be able to live a good life, a life that they can be proud of, a life that they can have a legacy they can pass down to generation to generation. Um, I know how social programs actually work to help people. I'm a product of that, and all of my students that I've helped have helped over 1,000 people get their CDL and get a really good paying job. And I know the programs that we do have that we should be able to expand on and make it easier to have for people to have access to actually do work. And people sometimes they want to say, oh, they want a handout. No, they don't want a handout. They want a hand up. They want someone to actually care about them and to care about their families and give somebody a chance for for life, um, so they can be able to have, you know, affordable housing, affordable food, be able to put money away for savings or for their retirement. This is not asking for a lot. This is asking for just a bare minimum. I am a very pro-choice woman. I've had a pregnancy fail when I was 38 weeks pregnant, and I know the value of what abortion access is, because women who have pregnancies that have failed will be fought under this umbrella of abortions, and those women will be affected with the women who have choose to have an elective abortion. I am a firm believer that we need to invest in our green energy and be able to address our climate change now, because we can go outside and we can know that something's not right. And we need to make a difference for us now and for our children and our grandchildren. And I thank you so much for your time today. And I hope to get your vote on January 28th.
All right. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Marsha Williams. For more information about Marsha, you can go to marshawilliamsforcongress.com. Thank you so much, Marsha.
Thank you so much, Maurice. You have a good day.
Hey, you too.